This is homework set 38 on common and natural logarithms. Question 6. Let's read through this, see if we get an idea of what's going on. It says this: the percentage of students enrolled in a university who are between 25 and 34 years old. All right, so what percent of students are in this university who are between 25 and 35? Well, they're telling us it can be modeled with this formula right here. S equals 5 times the natural log of x. Now, they will tell us what S and X both are. It says this: S is the percentage of students. So right away, I know that this S right here, this is the percentage of students, all right? That's what S is. That's the percent. And what is X? Oh, X is the number of years since 1989. Okay, well, that's interesting. 1989. So this right here is the number of years since 1989. So that might be when they started doing the research or started collecting the data. Now, here's what we know. Now, remember, S is the percent, X is a year. So what do we know here? It says predict the year. So I'm trying to predict X, in which approximately 15%. All right, now it's already in percent. That's going to be the S. So it's going to be 15, and I'm not going to write 0.15 because it's already in percents. 15 is equal to 5 times the natural log of x. So we're just trying to find x. I think first up, I'm going to divide by this 5 just to get that natural log by itself. So we'll get 15 over 5, that's equal to ln x. So I'll get 3 is equal to the natural log of x. And I'm just going to turn it around and write this. ln x equals 3, just easier for me to see it. Now ln x, I know, here, I don't have to write this down necessarily, but I just see this in my head. ln x equals 3. And then it's easier for me, anyway, to translate it. The logarithm is the exponent. So the exponent goes on a base. So here's what I've got. E to the 3 is equal to x. Now, e to the 3, here's what we'll do. On your calculator, you press the second key, right? That's the blue one. Then you press ln, and above ln is e to the x. And when you press that, you get e, and then you get this box appears waiting for you to fill in that field. So you type in a 3, right? So you type in a 3 here and press enter. Now, when I pressed enter, I got this. I got 20.085 ... So I'm going to say that this is about 20. All right, now we have to be careful here. In this sense, it's a word problem, so you always have to go back and see what x is. I'm getting x, right? I got x equals 20. So what is x? X is the number of years since 1989. So we are 20 years since 1989. So 20 years since 1989, just 1989 plus 20 gives us the year 2009.08. Okay, but it's essentially what year? Okay, predict the year. All right, that's what it says. In the year something, 15% of the students. And what we want to know is predict the year. So I'm going to predict this all happens in 2009. Question 7 sure takes up a lot of space, but what do we know here? Let's just see what we've got. Use this equation right here. Okay, I'm going to write that equation up here. It says that the pH is equal to the negative log, now there's no base, so it's base 10, of, now you write the square parentheses, and H plus inside. Now this right here, this is the hydrogen ion concentration. Now we don't need to know what that is. We just want to solve this problem. We don't need to know what that is. All right, so that's the equation I'm going to use. Now in part A it says, find the pH. All right, here's the pH. The pH is this. The pH is negative. Now all I have to know is the hydrogen ion concentration. So are they going to give that to us down here? Yeah. Find the pH of orange juice if H plus is equal to this number right here. So in part A, right here's part A, the pH is going to be negative the log. Now, what do you get here? This is 6.5 times 10 to the negative 4. Now, let's simplify this right side. So this is going to equal negative, all right, negative. Now, it's the log of a product, right? The log of a product. So it's going to be the log of the first plus the log of the second. So it's going to be log base 10 of 6.5 plus the log base 10 of 10 to the negative 4. Now this is going to give us negative, all right, the log base 10 of 6.5. Now you remember what happens here? You have the logarithm, and when the bases match, you just get the exponent, because what you're asking is, what exponent would I put on that 10 to get 10 to the negative 4? Well, negative 4, of course. So when you have the bases matching, you just get the exponent. So this is going to be minus 4. Now this is equal to negative, okay, negative this, the log base 10 of 6.5. Just on your calculator, press log and put in 6.5. I'm going to round it to 4 places. So I'm going to get 0.8129. 0.8129 minus 4. All right, so just subtract 4 from that on your calculator. Now I get this. This is negative 3.1871, rounded off a bit. But it's negative all of this. Let me be careful with my signs. So it comes out to this. The pH is equal to negative is 3.1871. Now, do you see where that is? You see where that is over here? 3.1. All right, here's 0. All right, here's 3. All right, so where is it? It's in this color here, which is acidic. And, you've had orange juice. You know it tastes acidic. Okay, now I'm not going to do part B, because part B is the same as part A. Instead of putting in 6.5 times 10 to the negative 4, I'm going to put in 1.88 times 10 to the negative 6. So really it's just the same problem. Let's do part C. What I want to do now is this. I want to find the hydrogen concentration. That's H+. Right, so here's what I'm trying to do. In this case, I want to find H+. That's what you call the hydrogen ion concentration, is H+ in those brackets. When, now we're given the pH is 4.75. Okay, so here's our equation. The pH is equal to the negative, the log of H+. So pH we're given as 4.75. This is equal to the negative, the log. Now I'm going to write the base 10 of H+. Now, I'm going to get rid of this negative sign so I can isolate the logs. Just multiply or divide both sides by a negative. So I get negative. Let me try to write that so I can read it. Negative 4.75 is equal to the log base 10 of H+. And now I know what this means, right? The logarithm is the exponent. So exponents go on bases, and the base is 10. So this says that 10 to the negative 4.75 is equal to the hydrogen ion concentration. All right, so a calculator problem. So how about second? That's the blue key. LOG key, because right above it is 10 to the x. And when you do that, you get 10. And then it's waiting for you to fill in that field. So what are you going to put in here? You're going to put in negative 4.75. Now remember, that's on this key right here, bottom right. Now, here's what my calculator shows me. Calculator shows me 1.778 bunch, and then it says E to the negative 5. Now, here's what this means, times 10 to the negative 5. So here's what I have. 1.7, I'm just going to round it off. 1.78 times 10 to the negative 5. Now, to get that decimal right here, I must have moved it 5 places to the right. So to get it out, I'm going to move it 5 to the left. So there's 1. I need 4 zeros. So how about 0.1234178? I'll put a leading 0 out there. So you know what? I think it's just as reasonable just to leave it like this in scientific notation. Question 8, well, this is much easier, right? It just says to find the value of this logarithm. So all I'm just going to do is this. On my calculator, I'll press that second key. That's the blue key. And then I'm going to press the log key down that left column. And when I do that, I get LOG parentheses, type in 700, close it right above the 89, you'll find the parentheses. And what we're going to do here is we're going to round to 4 decimal places. So here's what I got. I got 2.84509,804. That's what's on my calculator screen. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to round that one up, right? So I'm going to get this, 2.8451. Question 9, just find the log of this number. So I'm going to just type in log. All right, just look over to see how we're going to do this in number 8. But I'm going to say that the log of 13,400 is, I am getting 4.1271, and so on. Round it to 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 0. So I'm just going to drop it. So I'm going to say that this is 4.1271. And let's just reflect on what it means. Remember, it's the log base 10 of 13400 is 4.1271, which means, right, the logarithm is the exponent. Exponents go on bases, so this means that 10 to the 4.1271 is equal to 13,400, or close to it. So question 10, just a little bit of a review. We're going to write this as a single logarithm, so I'm just going to talk my way through it and do it all at once. I'm going to have this to be the ln. Now, when you look through it, I see a minus, and I know whatever comes after. As soon as I see a minus, I know there's a fraction bar. So I'm going to write a fraction bar. Natural log, fraction bar. Now, whatever comes before the minus goes on top. Whatever comes after it goes on the bottom. Now, I also have multipliers, and multipliers become exponents. So this is going to be x to the 6th times, right? Additions become multiplications going backwards. So I'm going to write it. It's going to be x to the 6th, and then the y to the 3, that multiplier becomes the exponent. And then the 4 is going to become the exponent. And this is going in the bottom, all over z to the 4th. And that is the end of homework set 38.